Hello, children. Reverend Dirt. It's kind of a late night tonight. Uh, kind of cold in the apartment. But I'm just coming on tonight. I had something on my mind. I wanted to explain to you why these movies aren't very good now that are coming out. Like these new Star Wars movies. With the chick, I can't think of her name, but the new chick that she's a Jedi now. And she seems to be, you remember Luke in the other Star Wars? He had to go to school. He had to go to a planet where to be taught how to become a Jedi, or he's a Jedi, but you have to manifest your powers. You have to learn. So he had to go to the little green dude, Yoda. Yeah, he had to go to Master Yoda to sharpen his Jedi skills and to come to an understanding of where he stood in his Jedi-ness. He had to realize that he actually was a Jedi, and Yoda was there to pull his head out of his, where, because Luke didn't have a clue. He was scared. So he had all these things he had to overcome to become a Jedi. But this new chick and the new Jedi, she seems to master all the skills, even fighting with the lightsaber, flying spaceships. She doesn't even have to where's he on? If I got one of them ships, I'd be like, there's a million buttons in there. You're in this thing, and there's a million buttons, and you're like, what? I was just in a friend of mine's Prius, and I couldn't start it because it's one of these new cars. It didn't have a key. It had a Jedi button that you had to push. And I was looking, and she said, well, you have to click this and then push the button. And then there's a motor, but it's half motor and half electric. So when electric's on, you can't hear the motor. But when you start it, you do hear the motor. So I push the button, and the screen lights up inside the car. And I'm like, wow, okay, here we go. And then you hear the motor start. That's a Prius. Now, these futuristic, wherever they say it's a long time ago, but they're like millions of years ahead in technology than we are. Because they can fly in space, they can do a bunch of stuff. They have a lightsaber, and nobody's been able to figure out the lightsaber yet. Well, anyways, they have high technology. So this chick gets in a ship. She's never got in a ship before. And she knows how to start it. She knows how to fly it. She knows how to maneuver it around everything without any training. So, boys and girls, what they're doing like they did in the 80s. It's all like music-wise anyway. There's a bunch of bands that weren't really that good, but they had these huge stage shows with lights and smoke, spandex and poofy hair and all this other stuff. So that took your mind off of, man, these guys aren't really that good, the guys in the 70s were all grungy, they look like they picked them up at homeless shelters and put them on stage. But, the music was good. But, they didn't have this great persona, glittery BS crap they got, So now, fast forward to now, the movies, the storyline sucks. The actors are walking around like chunks of wood, there's no acting prowess, nothing's happening. And the storyline is how did that, there's no background of what's really going on, but the CGI is great. Planets, ships exploding, lightsabers look real. I mean, all the technical crap is awesome in the movies now. It's just like with the CGI, it's just like, wow, this is like, so the reality is like, wow, that's really cool. But there's no storyline. It's not like the first three Star Wars where you were into there was characters and all this other stuff. Now everything is like plastic characters and cardboard cutout people, but everything in the background is just amazing. So we're blinded by that. So we're really going to movies for this not for the story. We're there for the light show, and I'm there for light show and popcorn because I love popcorn. So that's why I'm there, because the movie, and then to be entertained with this, it's like 2001 Space Odyssey. Now that had a good story, but we're caught in that tunnel at the end of the movie when he goes through this lighted tunnel. That's where we're at right now. We're in this lighted tunnel, and there's no story, but nobody really cares because they're in the light tunnel, going down this tunnel like some people say when they died and they come back. Oh, when they died, they were in this tunnel, going through this tunnel. That's where we're at right now. We're between life and death in the middle of this lighted tunnel eating popcorn. And people say, well, what was the movie about? Well, there was lights and I was moving and it felt like I was getting high in this tunnel. See? That's where we're at right now. It doesn't matter whatever glitters, we're in it. And this is Reverend Dirt and it's getting too late. So Children of the Corn, I'm going to be continuing making some of these videos. I need some more of them anyways. And you all have a good night, and I'll see you next time.